It was the night before Game 4. Our beloved New Jersey Devils looking to tie up a big first-round series. I didn't have this planned, so I'll give people a couple moments to see if anyone shows up here. But wow, what an amazing Game 3. I mean, a little bit of everything. High drama, a blown 2-goal lead in the third period, a double OT winner from Nemec. I mean, wow. It had a little bit of everything. One had a little bit of everything. Just checking some notes over here. No Luke, no Dylan apparently again for tomorrow. That kind of sucks. But yeah, it's an injury-riddled team. We already know the drill. The New Jersey Devils, unfortunately, cannot stay healthy for anything. I don't even know how they do this. I do not feel healthy as a result of the mental and physical draining that this series has become. And wow, I mean, I didn't sleep much. I went to bed at a ridiculous time in the wee hours of in the morning. It was sunlight out for quite a while. And yeah, the quick turnaround. We don't even get the full 48 hours. It goes from a Friday night game to a Sunday afternoon. Schedule makers did us no favors there. Obviously, the overtime extended the game, and I am sure there's going to be some kind of nicked up, tired guys on both teams, and we will see how this war of attrition plays out. The playoffs are obviously the ultimate war of attrition, and we're going to see who's the fresher team tomorrow. I'm hoping it is the New Jersey Devils, and they could take it to the Canes once again. Can't sleep mini pizza. Super hyped for tomorrow. Got to keep it up, though. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Again, no Luke and Dylan. I'm kind of worried that their seasons might be over no matter how far we go in the playoffs. Super unfortunate. Massive losses, obviously, to the Devils' blue line. And we have some defensive depth. And so it will continue to be the next guy up as it has been all season long. And the same with if Kovacevic can't go. If Kovacevic can't go, I imagine we would probably see Cholowski in there again. It seems like for whatever reason, I mean, not whatever reason, we know their concern with Seamus Casey is obviously, in the D zone, sometimes he could kind of get crushed under pressure, and it's a potential liability. And so I have to imagine if Kovacevic cannot go tomorrow, which would be super unfortunate, that we will see Cholowski, who's been with the team obviously for quite a while now, and he's played what did he play? He played 6 regular season games, and I think he played let me see something here. It's so hard to keep track of stuff right now. Like, my brain is just, everything's kind of jumbled together, and guys have been injured so often. I'm like, wait a minute, what game was that? It's been a wild season, though, obviously, with all the injuries. Once again, big names going down. Jack Hughes, Dougie Hamilton, Siegenthaler. It's inexplainable, honestly. I've never seen a team so injured before. It really seems like there is a dark cloud plaguing the Devils, and it's not like a conspiracy thing. It's just like, who else has had this amount of injuries to a blue line alone? I mean, the freaking defense has just been decimated. Resting guitar face. I got very little sleep last night. Haha. I was so amped up I couldn't sleep. Then my kids woke up at 5 a.m. Oh my God. Kids, 5 a.m., huh? How old are your kids? I know kids get up so early these days. I don't ever recall doing that when I was a kid. Definitely not 5 a.m. And like, for whatever reason, kids these days seem to require more attention from their parents for whatever reason. I'm not really sure what it is, but I remember when my brother and I were little kids, like we didn't go bug our parents for, we were kind of self-sufficient. We would be just kind of hanging out, doing our own thing. But kids these days seem to be kind of all up in their parents' kind of business and, require constant something. I'm just trying to say, okay, so it was Dumo, Dillon, Hamilton, Kovacevic, Pesce, and Hughes in game 1. Yeah, and then Cholowski played game 2. So that was Dumo, Hamilton, Kovacevic, Nemec, Pesce, Cholowski. Yeah, and so this is crazy. It could be the 4th game. The 4th game with the 4th different defense, if I'm not mistaken here. We wouldn't have had the same defensive core dressed for a game in 4 games. Let me just double check that. That's psycho stuff. That's completely psycho stuff. And where have you ever heard of this before? Just double checking. My computer's a little. Now I'm actually just going to put together a little. All right, so this was game 1. Snell hoping for a big game from Timo tomorrow. Puck luck going to turn his way. So, I mean, wow. What can we say about Timo? You guys know I love Timo. I'm a big Timo guy. He's had so many chances and just cannot seem for the life of him to finish. It's super frustrating. I'm sure no one's more frustrated than him. We've seen him go through something similar in the regular season where he gets tons of these chances and they just don't go in. It really sucks. But I think it's only a matter of time. I do think Timomeier breaks through. And when he does, I think it's going to be a beautiful thing to see. I mean, if you think about it, and I'm sure the Canes and every other team in the playoffs could say this as well, but the fact that this is a series and nothing, or I'm not going to say nothing, but lots of things have not gone our way. Primarily, the power play being absolutely atrocious has been an issue. Very uncharacteristic of the Devils. They had a top 3 power play during the season. It's been absolute shit in the series. And so tomorrow, game 4 of the series, it would be the 4th different D-core. We did not have the same 6 defensemen in any 2 games through 4, assuming that Kovacevic does not play tomorrow. The first game we had Dumoulin, Dillon, Hamilton, Kovacevic, Pesce, Luke Hughes. Then the next game was Dumoulin, Hamilton, Kovacevic, Nemec, Pesce, Cholowski. So Cholowski and Nemec were in for Luke and Dilly. And then in the game 3, we had Dumoulin, Hamilton, Kovacevic, Nemec, Pesce, and then Siegs came back. And now if Kovacevic is not playing tomorrow, it would literally be the 4th different group of 6 defensemen in the series. Not one set of defensemen the same for any 2 games. I mean, it's pretty wild. I think that speaks to itself. I don't know that I've ever experienced that as a Devils fan, actually. Through 4 games of a series where your D-core was different every single game. I mean, if that doesn't preach to the insane extent of these injuries, I don't know what does. That is a psychotic stat there. Dire Straits, liking the new gear ace. Yeah, thanks. Raise hell. I'm raising hell here. This is a new playoff collection, little capsule from one of my favorite hockey brands, Violent Gentlemen. They do tons of collabs with the Devils, have done several this season alone, and they've done a bunch of them in the past as well. But yeah, this was the new fresh playoff gear. Decided I had to get it. Custo Hockey, excited for afternoon hockey. 8 p.m. fine for Friday, but late starts for other series have been brutal. Late starts in general are kind of rough. it's it was obviously with the overtime, it was late, and shout out to everybody that came through for the live last night. I don't even know what time it started, but it certainly went into some absurd time of night, or I should say some absurd time of early morning. And it obviously just makes everything more difficult. I do think I actually do like the I forget if is it 3 or 3:30, but I do like that. I do think 1 p.m. is a tad on the early side. Yeah, it's 3:30. That might be perfect, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. 1 p.m. is a tad on the early side, and then obviously 8 p.m. is like, my God, my whole day today was very unproductive and ruined, essentially. Yeah, that game killed me. And then obviously the way the game played out, like I've said, a million times throughout this playoffs, I am currently physically, mentally, and emotionally drained. I don't know, should this team, I don't want to get ahead of myself, right? But let's just say everything goes great and this team goes on a miracle run to the finals. I do not know how I will hold up to that, because obviously I have a heavy workload here with doing these lives, doing all these videos, kind of entrenched in the scenes and going to the games. And it takes a toll on you as you get older. When I was younger, I feel like I was invincible. I probably could have done, I don't know. And maybe some other stuff goes into it as well, but it's kind of a grind. And, shout out to I can't imagine. I feel like this from going to the game and doing videos. Like, I can't imagine what the players feel like. It is pretty funny. Like and shout out to the broadcast crew as well. Dano, Sal, Rachel, Bill, everyone covering the sport. People don't realize, yeah, they don't have to do all the editing and shit, but there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of travel, a lot of time, a lot of prep time. And it's a grind. I can't imagine what the players feel like today, but wow, it's a grind. And I'm hoping I'm able to continue to push it to the physical limits for a long, lengthy run, which goes into June, because I so desperately want this team to get back to the finals. And then obviously, ultimately, hoist another Stanley Cup, guys. Another Stanley Cup. Would love to have a photo of Marky with a cup in the set somewhere when I redo the set at some point. Resting Guitar Face, they looked damn good yesterday. If they could do that, we got a shot to take down Carolina. No, absolutely. If they play that game, they have a chance, but they got to tighten up some things, and it's going to have to start with, obviously, special teams. Penalty kill, you can't give up 2 goals on 4 power plays for Carolina. And then on the flip side, the power play has just been tragic. 0 for 10 in the series, missing the Hughes brothers desperately. 2 of them in overtime alone. I thought after the second one it was a wrap. I think I said that at some point in a video or somewhere. But I had the feeling going into the second power play that it was do or die right there, because if we didn't score, I do think they would have put Carolina on a power play shortly after, and that they probably would have ended it. Between the way, our penalty kill was going and what they've been able to do on the power play, I thought that was going to be the nail in the coffin for the Devils. I'm obviously ecstatic that did not happen, and they're able to pull it out in the double overtime. Alex, I'm so excited for tomorrow. I'm convincing my dad to go early. You should, Alex. I don't know. If I'm being realistic, the Fan Fest isn't that cool, but for kids anyway, I guess there's a couple things for kids to do. I'm an old guy, so just drinking beer in the nice weather outdoors with other Devils fans with some music playing is A-okay in my book, especially before we're going into a playoff hockey game. So I'm not expecting a whole ton. But for people kind of looking to be entertained, I don't know how much you will find that entertaining, especially for kids. But there's things there. There's a little video game booth thing, and they got the cornhole and a couple of little things going on. So I'm sure, if you do go early, you will find something to entertain yourself. Snell, I think Luke is playing tomorrow. That's my sense from Sheldon. I'm pretty sure that Amanda, let me just double check, said that they were both out, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Luke Hughes and Dylan out for Game 4, says Devils head coach Sheldon Keefe. No update right now on Kovacevic. So unless I missed something else, P-Funk, raise in hell. Let's go A's. Raise hell, baby. Raise hell. We're raising it. We raised it last night, and we got to raise it again tomorrow. Another opportunity for the home faithful to show up and be loud, obviously wave those towels, get jacked up, get fired up, and cheer the boys on to victory, because tomorrow is the biggest game for the Devils in the past couple years, hands down, and we need a dub. They come out with a win tomorrow and send it back to Carolina, all tied up at 2. That fan base and that team is going to be feeling the pressure, my friends, because if the Devils did manage to do that, it's unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. Morgan, boys could tie up the series of the big game tomorrow. We need it. We need it. Reggie, Ace, did you see the Nyes goal tonight? I did not, but what a beast Nyes has been for them, huh? Oh, my God. I think he's about to get paid, if I'm not mistaken. Custo Hockey, I was going to go tomorrow, but pulled a muscle Friday morning, and it's just starting to get better. I'm afraid to push it, and I live in Little Silver, so the trek is longish. Well, I hope you recover from your muscle pull there, and you return to full health. And I advise you to get to a game when you are recovered. Hopefully, imagine if I don't know, if the Devils' first 4-game win streak in 27 months occurred in the playoffs and we win in 6, and your boy Ace's original prediction hits, Devils in 6 on the home ice, that would be phenomenal. But I'm not getting ahead of myself. I just want them to win the series any way they can, and it starts with winning game 4 tomorrow afternoon at the Rock. Resting Guitar Face, my kids are 5 and 3. Oh, yeah, it's brutal ages. My nephews are a little bit older, but they're 2 years apart. So at one point they were 5 and 3, and oh boy, Resting Guitar Face, I feel your pain on a small scale because I'm just an uncle. But, I've watched them and they've slept over and stuff when they were those ages, and 5 and 3 is, my guys are super rambunctious and rowdy, and so they're a handful. 5 and 3 is a lot. My 3-year-old woke up from the bathroom and decided, let's be a dinosaur. Started roaring and stomping around and woke up. Yeah, this is what 3-year-olds do. It's so funny. How did I jinx us, Max? Let me see. Shoots heading in from Central New York tomorrow. First playoff game, baby. Oh, Shoots, you're in for a treat, my man. I'd advise you to get there early, soak up the environment outside before heading in, and hopefully you get to see a massive New Jersey Devils win in your first game, your first playoff game. A lot of people last night in comments or on the live were saying it was their first playoff game as well. And let me tell you how spoiled you people are that your first ever playoff game was a monster 3-2 Devils win to cut a series deficit to 2-1 in double overtime, courtesy of Nemec. I mean, wow, what a first playoff game. I can't imagine. I'm trying to think what my first playoff game was. I think my first playoff game was in 1997. I've told the story before. The company my mother used to work for had season tickets, and the guy the manager who was in charge of the tickets knew we were huge Devils fans. So he always gave my mom some tickets. And I remember my mom had asked me before the series, she told me that the guy promised her tickets for the first round and we could pick what game, or at least pick between games 1 and 2. And for the life of me to this day, it will forever haunt me. I don't know what possessed me to pick game 2, but I picked game 2. And obviously, or maybe not obviously for those that don't know, but the great Martin Brodeur shot in the closing moments of the game with the empty net, with the Devils with the lead, the 2-goal lead. Marty fired the puck down the ice in game 1 and scored a goal. And I remember watching it on my couch as a kid and being like, I could have been there. Like I could have been at this game right now. Instead, I picked game 2. Will haunt me forever and will continue to, it's just what a horrible misfortune that I picked. If I just picked game 1, I would have been there to see Marty's goal. It sucked, but it was awesome to watch on TV. And I was at game 2, which was the next game. I think that was my first playoff game. Resting Guitar Face. I watched the vlog and saw the kids you interviewed. Man, I'm so jacked to be able to go with my kids. They love watching on TV, but just aren't big enough yet for the cost. Oh, I feel you, man. Tickets are crazy. And a lot of times kids get fidgety and shit. I don't know how your kids are with that in terms of like sitting still and actually paying attention, but I do know that the struggle is real, especially with children these days. They need, constant stimulation. And I guess to some extent there is with the music and the lights, and you feed them chicken tenders and fries, maybe go high five NJ Devil. But, yeah, it's definitely super expensive. The Devils should offer some sort of discount for kids or something. I think that would be pretty incentivizing to people like yourself and others that are big fans and would love to bring their children, but cannot wrap their head around the exorbitant cost of the tickets. And it should be something like, yeah, up to 2 kid tickets, half off or something with every adult ticket. I mean, because that would be a little kind of extra nudge to get you to bring them, obviously. Southern Devils fan, when I went to Nashville to see the Devils play, my legs were all bruised up from the seats being so terrible. Do you mean like they were tight and your shins were kind of hitting the seat in front of you? I'm a bigger dude and I cannot stand tight spaces, tight seats. I don't mind airplanes like in general. Like I don't mind flying, but what I do hate about flying is the fact that unless you're in, the baller seats, business class or first class, you are stuffed in the smallest seat imaginable that shouldn't even be legal for human usage. It's inhumane, some of these airplanes. And I've been on, I forget which airline, but I was on one where I was like, this is, even by stingy airport standards, this should be illegal, because I felt like a caged animal. And I've been to arenas and stadiums that have felt like that as well. It is terrible. They should give you some ample space. I mean, come on. Daniel says, in the shower, let's go Devils. Custo Hockey East. Oh, I just spit everywhere. Do you collect certain items for your studio? I can't find a home for this extra banner from the 2013 draft in Newark. I appreciate it. I have more stuff than I could ever possibly display in one location. But I certainly appreciate it. And I was at that draft, actually. What a weird day. Marty basically finds out that he's going to be like in a tandem situation with Corey Schneider. Johan Moose Hedberg finds out essentially that he's out of an NHL job. I met some NHL legends walking around in the hallway. Former Devil Doug Gilmour was walking around. No one even knew who he was. Me and my buddies went up to him. Also talked to Billy Guerin that day, which I think he went largely unnoticed as well on the concourse. Talked to Billy G, but what an interesting day. I'll never forget it. And I do think that draft was kind of our consolidation prize for getting ripped off of the All-Star game. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, when the Prudential Center was built, I'm pretty sure that the rumor or the story was that within the first few years, the Devils were supposed to host an All-Star game, and it never happened. And then we got like a draft, and it's like the draft, like, it doesn't do much for me. I mean, obviously Prudential Center is so close, and we never had one, or at least I don't think we had one ever. Definitely not a Prudential Center, obviously. And I was like, screw it, I'll go just to go, because I've never been to one. So it is a cool experience to do at least once. But if that's kind of your, in lieu of getting an All-Star game, and we got completely screwed. I still to this day don't know how we didn't get the All-Star game. Kevin, they got to be able to bury chances. Hall a breakaway in the first. Meier missed an open net. Insane save, though, and multiple other chances. They'd be up 2-1 if they did. Yeah, but that's part of hockey. It happens every game. I mean, listen, would it have been nice for Hall to bury that? Yes. Would it have been nice for Timo to get that over Freddie's glove? Absolutely. That one was stunning. The glove was just there, and Timo just shot it. Boop, shot the puck. Like, yeah, Freddie's glove, and Timo just shoots it right smack into Freddie's glove. Really unbelievable stuff. Super unfortunate. Timo's been snake bitten, but hopefully he breaks through and just goes on a tear. I mean, with all the chances he keeps getting, I'd like to believe that his bad luck cannot continue forever, but we did see it for a long stretch. I forget how many games, but during the regular season, it was kind of the same thing. He was getting like grade A chances left and right, and none of them would go in. It was pretty wild. Daniel, saw your montage from yesterday. Made me look at ticket prices for tomorrow. I mean, listen, this playoff tickets have been much more affordable than the last time we were in the playoffs. Obviously, the New York Rangers were the first round opponent, which will obviously drive up the price of tickets. And then the second round obviously is more expensive than the first. And so I don't think the second round was that crazy, but playoff tickets are at a premium. But right now, oh, wow, the tickets for tomorrow went up quite a bit, I believe. Interesting. I thought I looked earlier and they were cheaper. There's tickets right now for like 150 each, it seems. Let me just check one other place in the 150-ish range. And I would say if you have the means to do so, I highly recommend going to the game. There's nothing like playoff hockey. And tomorrow the arena is going to be just insanity. It's going to be complete insanity at the Rock. Oh, there's some even cheaper on here. Yeah, there's plenty of tickets. Oh, not plenty, but let's see. 105s What do these come to? I did this the other day, but oh my God. I legitimately hate Ticketmaster's website with a passion. Always some bullshit. Let me see. Yeah, so they're 105 face before the fees. With the fee, it'll probably take them to like 130 something. Let me see. All right. Well, there's only a couple left at this price point, but the next price point's not much higher. They're making me sign in and do all this crap to see the final price. Yeah, they comes to $130 each. So, I mean, there is fairly affordable tickets out there. I do believe if you're a huge fan, the experience you're going to get for $130 is massive. I mean, it's the best $130 you could spend, in my opinion. And then I also use TickPick on the secondary markets, kind of my go-to site. And right now, for 2 tickets, the cheapest on there is $158. So technically, it is rare, but as of right now, there's some slightly cheaper tickets on Ticketmaster. But either way, I mean, you would get in the door for well under $200 a person, which is a bargain, in my opinion, for New Jersey Devils playoff hockey. P-Funk says, yes, Dylan and Luke are out. Yeah, it's crazy. Max, I want to be there tomorrow, but it's just such a trip from Boston for a first-round game. Max, you're a chump, dude. I can't believe it, Max. I thought a little bit higher of you. I thought that would be on a Sunday nonetheless, and it's not a night game. You have no excuse, Max. I expect to see you out on the plaza with some beers tomorrow. You could be home by midnight-ish. I mean, come on. And then you're scoffing at a first-round game as if this is like, listen. Yeah. Oh, man, that's so funny. A random comment from my best friend, who I didn't realize watched any of these things at all. I'll get to that story in a minute, Strakis. Under $200, under 4 hours, Max, it is time for you to stop scoffing at a first-round game, because this is not the glory years of the Devils, where back in the day that was a very common sentiment from the fans. You know, you're like, oh, I'm going to save my money and energy for like the conference finals and the cup finals, because it seemed like it was happening every year. But this is not those times. We missed the playoffs last year. And so you damn well better treat first-round appearances as if they are a conference final or a Stanley Cup, because we don't know the next time we're going to get there. I hate to say this and to be any sort of negative, but there is no guarantee that this team will be in the playoffs next year. Last season, that disgusting 23-24 season, let that be a lesson. We had a franchise record 112 points the season before, beat the Rangers in that beautiful seven-game series, and then we failed to make the playoffs. And so you now must treat these games properly. I mean, these are special times, and it's sad that I've even not necessarily have taken on that kind of viewpoint of it. It's just more so I live in reality now, where it's like, you know, especially with some of the questionable things of this current administration, that I'm going to soak up every opportunity to go to playoff games, because I don't know the next time it's going to come around. Custo, Ace, my home studio has banners from a lot of the NHL drafts. 2013 was in NJ. Ever thought of hunting those down for your studio backdrop? Cool to have that stuff. I have so much stuff, man. I have, you know, photos, posters, banners of different things. It's like, I hope to one day get the museum open somehow, some way. It would be a very impressive kind of situation. Putting out the 4-game. Max, you really think putting out the 4-game win streak, I jinxed it? I think they jinxed themselves. How many times did we have 3-game winning streaks this season? Like 4 or 5? And they shit the bed in the 4th game every time? You're not going to put that on me, Max. That's them just failing to deliver in game 4. Doug, if I happen to see you tomorrow, I'll come up and say hi. Ace, so pumped. Oh, Doug, it's going to be a good one. It is going to be a good one. Max, my first game and playoff game was 2003 Eastern Conference Finals, Game 6 against Ottawa. Sucks they lost, but I don't care because they won the cup. Got locker room passes too. I was at that game and every other home playoff game that season, except for the very first game of Game 1 against Boston. And what a run. Unbelievable stuff. it was unfortunate that the Devils could not close out the Sens in that game 6. They were up 3-2 in the series, and then they lost that one in overtime. And then were forced to go back to Ottawa for game 7, which they won in dramatic fashion in the closing minutes off of a beautiful Jeff Friesen goal on a feed from Grant Marshall, one of the most iconic goals in Devils history. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. But that was a pretty good one to be at. An overtime loss, unfortunately, but a amazing team and on an amazing run there. Shoot says probably won't have a voice after the first period. Max, it's do or die for Ottawa right now. I haven't done much of anything today. I've been just kind of doing a couple errands and shit. Let's see. Oof. Ottawa down 3-0 in the series, looking to avoid the sweep, tied 2-2 midway through the third. I might have to put that on my phone here and prop it up near my computer monitor. Alex, Covey's highlights, shine down, shit pumped me up. It's a shame that he may or may not be playing tomorrow. I hate that people call Kovacevic Covey, by the way. Covey is Ilya Kovalchuk. I don't even know if people really call him Covey. Like, I'm curious. I don't like it, if I'm being honest. I'm not a fan. Daniel, Ace's NJ Devils Museum coming 2026. That would be cool. LJ was thinking about this. First Devils goal was scored by Don Lever, who in the video picks up the puck. Where is that puck now? I'd imagine that either Don Lever has it or it's lost over the years or possibly it went to the Hall of Fame. I honestly have no idea. It's a pretty interesting question. Samuel, first playoff games I saw in 1988 versus Islanders. Very nice, Samuel. You go way back. The man from Jersey, who's going to be there tomorrow? Let's go Devils. Our boys need us. I imagine there's going to be a lot of people there. Going to be a lot of people there fired up. Custo. So, yes, I'm a freelance person with the league who covers events. Just did the Classic this year, but rumor is NJ wants an all-star game, but they may get another draft first. News coming soon. Drafts suck. Honestly, who cares about the draft? Give us an all-star game. It seems like if we didn't get, our building's almost 18 years old now. They typically give them to newer arenas. If we didn't get it by now, I'm under the assumption that we are never getting an all-star game. Outside of if we ever get a new arena, then maybe we'll be in the mix again. But I'm not counting on one at Prudential Center now. It would be nice. I'd be ecstatic, even though the all-star game does suck compared to what it was years ago. But I would still gladly go if it was in New Jersey. Devs fan 125, Nicohischier is signed. Does he play tomorrow? If so, who comes out? I have no idea. I don't really care. I'm not focused on that. That's not my job. My job is to eat lots of food, drink lots of beers, and to yell my face off and swing my rally towel like so. This is the extent of my job criteria. This is my job duties. I don't know. It seems interesting. I don't know how much he's been kind of assimilated with the team. How familiar he is with the system and stuff. I do think it would be a risky proposition for Hot Rod Brindamour to throw him into a lineup for a team. It's not like, they're down 3-0 or down 3-1 and they're kind of looking to generate something, create a spark. They're still up in the series, and I do think that would be potentially disruptive to their overall team to throw a new guy in and yank somebody out, but who knows? I'm not surprised by anything anymore. If I had to bet, I'd imagine he wouldn't play right away. Maybe later in the series or another series, but who knows? If Carolina has some guys that they think have been kind of primed to be upgraded by somebody else, then maybe he does get his chance. What's going on, Joseph? Max, let's be honest. How many times have y'all watched the Nemec goal? I'm probably at 35. I'm probably in the high teens. BM, why couldn't the Canes get their usual crazy amount of shots last night? Did we really stifle their offense, or did the Canes suck that bad on the road? Probably a little bit of both. But as many of you have come to realize, that sometimes the best defense is a good offense. And the Devils, would we have 37 shots last night, I think, with some decent ozone time? So obviously, the longer you could be in their zone and putting pressure on them, that's going to be less time for you in the D zone and increases your odds of winning. I just lost my way here again. Max, the cheapest ticket I could find for one person is $134. Yeah, I do use TickPick. $134 is pretty damn cheap for a playoff game. Devilman Online, this is my buddy. $400 for the bodywork on Art Stanton's Astrovan. So I do forget, this is an inside joke kind of thing. But I have talked about in the past that I went to the first 3 rounds of that series for a total of like very little money, because me and my buddy Devilman09 here would just go to the game and buy tickets in the parking lot from people. This is back in the day when there was actual, physical tickets. Like there was actual tickets and you could hold them and people would have them and they'd be, who needs one? Buying, selling, who's got extras? Need one? Got a pair? Need a pair? And there'd be people, there'd be like a little economy of ticket resellers, as well as like regular fans with extra tickets in the parking lot at all the games. And so we went to that whole playoff, the first 3 rounds anyway. The cup finals, we had to buy tickets beforehand, obviously, because that's risky business to try to go there and luck out into tickets. But for the first 3 rounds, we would go there, tailgate, and then just, kind of mosey around the parking lot and find tickets for very good deals. And I don't remember, Devilman. Do you remember? But I want to say the first 3 rounds, which was minus game 1 of Boston. So it was game 2 versus Boston, game 5 versus Boston, 1, 2, and 5 versus the Lightning, and 2, 4, and 6 against the Sens. So 8 playoff games. I think it cost us like $250 or so total. And I believe for most of those games, we had lower level tickets. We were in the uppers a couple times, and we had lower level tickets for most of the games. Max says, Ace, I've been hurt too many times before. Oh, Max, you don't have the battle scars that some of us do, Max. I don't want to hear it. What time are you going to get there tomorrow? We'll crush some beers on the plaza. Let me know what time you're getting there. Not under 4 hours. How many hours is it? Alexander the Greg, yo, Ace, we don't always see eye to eye, but I appreciate all the work you put into this community. Let's go Devils. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that, Alexander. I try, man. I try. I forgot about the window sale. And he said, Max, how's the window sale go? Still in it negotiating. Yo, get that deal, Max. Just give him a little discount and get him to sign on the line that is dotted. Don't get caught up in trying to get the full commish. Just take your little chunk off and just push it to the finish line. Yeah, I like Kova way better than Covey. Covey is not, that's not, no, I don't like it. And I think Amanda Stein refers to him as Covey, but I don't know where it started or if it was ever like officially determined that that is in fact a real nickname for him. But if it is, I hate it. I don't like it. There's only one Covey, and it's the big Russian, Ilya Kovalchuk. Kova. Ottawa scores. Oh, is that to tie it or to take the lead? Oh, that's to take the lead. I just updated my wow. Ottawa going to avoid the sweep. Paulie, just finished watching the vlog from yesterday's game. Really enjoyed it. Didn't realize that you were on live. Have you taken a rest since yesterday? No, I haven't. I've been editing videos and doing nonsense pretty much since the game ended. But I'll get some rest, I guess, on Monday at some point. It is crazy that it's only one day in between game 4 and 5 with the travel. And then I think there's 2 days between 5 and it goes Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. So, yeah, Sunday afternoon game and then Tuesday night back in Raleigh. Then the 2 days off, returns to Jersey for game 6 Tuesday night. Returns to, I'm all out of it right now still. Sunday, tomorrow's game 4. And then, yeah, Tuesday night in Raleigh, game 5. And then if there's a game 6 necessary, which hopefully there is, hopefully the Devils have a 3-2 series lead. That would be Friday night in New Jersey. That'd be insane. Doug says, I just want another stadium series. That was epic. The stadium series truly was a special event. I talked about it at length leading up to it, and it really was awesome. Great experience, especially what made it even more special for me was the fact that obviously it was at MetLife, a couple 100 yards away from our old arena where I had gone, millions of times as a child. And, while a hockey game in a stadium loses some of the, it loses a lot of the elements you would get in an arena, I do think that all of the other stuff kind of makes up for it. And it's just more of a spectacle, and it's more of like a big-time event. Daniel, wish I was around for the stadium series. Anyone get to go? How was the view? I went. It's not the same view as you're going to get in an arena, obviously, but it was just awesome. Everything about it I thought was awesome. Long day of tailgating. Sherry, Dougie gave a few away last night, and though he had some shots, he didn't plant any. He irks my ass. A lot of people complain about Dougie. I think eventually he'll get it going. But man, yeah, I would really like to see him doing something on the power play, especially like the power play has been butt cheeks, and it almost cost us the game last night. Max says Walker because he got his bum ass run through by a guy named Justin Dowling. What a hit. What a hit. Chowski, Stadium Series was epic. Seeing everyone stand up when Nico had the breakaway gives me goosebumps. What a way to start a game, right? It was so sick. What a play and what a moment. And then we had the Bastion goal with the Tommy Cutlets celebration. Steven says, can we please play a game and not have 32 injuries? It would be nice, but as you know, there is a black cloud looming over the organization, and the injuries is insane. I don't know who was in here before. I haven't been paying attention to the screen that shows me, but I'd mentioned it a little while ago. I had to just double check to make sure I was correct. If Kovacevic does not play tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, it would be the fourth different defense grouping we've used in the series of 4 games, meaning we did not have the same defense from any 2 games. Game 1, 2, 3, and 4 were all a different set of 6, which is just, I don't think I could recall ever seeing that in the first 4 games of a series. Devil Heaven, here we go. Game 4, live and learn. It's a big one. Hopefully it does not end the way Game 4 against the Hurricanes in the second round in 2023 did. We smashed them. I think it was 8-4 was the final. In Game 3, I was at that one against the Canes in 2023. That was awesome. And then we followed it up with an absolute stinker in Game 4. Went down 3-1 in the series and then went to Raleigh for Game 5, where we were ultimately put out of our misery and eliminated. But that cannot happen this time around. Tomorrow is another game they have to win. Doug said it was Sheldon who called him Kovechkin after the Global Series. That was pretty funny. Kim, I really hope they can just fix up special teams tomorrow. They really played great yesterday. Besides letting up those 2 goals, they held it together afterwards. Let's go Devils. Love you, Ace. Appreciate that, Kim. Special teams have been tragic. The kill can't get the big kills. The power play is powerless. There's no power to the power play. 0 for 10 in the series, 0 for 5 last night, 0 for 2 in the overtime session alone. I mean, this is a great way to lose hockey games. Absolutely a phenomenal way to lose hockey games. And this is where, again, the absence of the Hughes brothers are felt. Either one of them would be a massive asset to have on power plays, and we don't have either one. And so these guys are going to have to figure it out. I'm curious to know if Sheldon Keefe has been contemplating using different personnel or, what his thoughts are to fix it. But something's got to give, because having a power play that can't convert at all is, again, a great way to lose games and lose a series. But they were resilient enough to buckle down after they blew the 2-goal lead in the third and to eventually win it in double OT, for which I am forever grateful. Del Evans says we look good in Game 3, other than I guess you meant blowing that, or I guess other than holding the lead, which they didn't. But yeah, they did. They did. They need to repeat it now and hopefully close games out when the opportunity is there. Sad Jets fan, haven't had time to sleep since last night. Been watching the Nemo goal on repeat for the last 11 hours. Custo Hockey, if anyone is going to enemy territory for Game 5, the Canes Corner across from the arena has some of the best barbecue I've ever had. It's a nice place. Went there when I worked for the Eastern Conference Final. Very nice. Love me some barbecue. I don't think I'll be venturing into Raleigh, but that's good to know. If I have wanted to go there for years. The Devils have been so bad there. Brutal. Jonathan the Zombie, that Stadium Series was freezing. They played it way too late in early February. Jonas Brothers Pyro was the only thing that warmed me up. It was cold, but it wasn't nearly as cold as the 2014 Stadium Series that was at Yankee Stadium. That was a different level of cold. But yeah, I had a great time despite the cold, and I did have seats where there was like a club right behind us that we could go into in between periods, which was clutch. So after each period, we would just kind of go up and into the club and defrost a little bit before going out for the next period. Great time at the Stadium Series for sure. Devil Heaven 77. Dougie is also a threat. We need more players as greats. More players as greats. Treats. I don't know what this says. He's definitely a threat, but he's got to start burying some goals, as does as does the whole team. We need Timo to wake up. Obviously, he's getting chances. He's got to start burying them. And when it happens, I think the series, in conjunction with maybe a power play that could actually do something, we could be in for a very interesting series that's just beginning. This thing may go to 7. Who knows? Sad Jets fan, stadium series is awesome. I feel like a smaller stadium like the Red Bulls Arena would be perfect for that, but no complaints about MetLife last year. This is all about the shmoney. So I can't see them doing it in a smaller stadium. I think, they want to maximize, ticket sales, merch sales, food, everything about it. The more people you bring in, the more money you're going to get. Custo Stadium Series was nice. Sightlines were better for the Devils game. I did as a fan versus Rangers game from press box. So definitely a good fan experience. They should repeat it again. Yeah, I think by all accounts and measures that it was a smashing success for the league in terms of, ratings and money and all that. So I don't see why we wouldn't get one again. I'm curious as to when it would be. I would love to see them actually get the Winter Classic. I know it's the same thing to a lot of people. To me, it's not. The Winter Classic is like the premier one, but obviously a stadium series is better than nothing. LJ, I went to the Yankee Stadium game in 2014. Although they lost, getting to see Elias net 2 in an outdoor game was epic. Yeah, it was a great experience, a lot of fun, but it sucked the way the Devils took that lead, and then they just got crushed. Marty got yanked. The whole thing was kind of, I do think the outcome of the game kind of put a little bit of a stink on it for me, but in the end, it was awesome. But that one was super cold. I remember seeing people's beers frozen in the cup. Like they would pull the draft beers, and then like as soon as you get within a couple seconds of the person getting it, like it was just like a cup of frozen beer ice. Devil 1177, crazy injury prone season. Keep it together as family. They need to the injuries need to stop, but I don't know that there's anything they could do and to safeguard against that. It's just a fluke thing. Guys are getting injured every game, and luckily, we have at least a few spare defensemen where we could kind of weather the storm with all these injuries. I mean, without all these defensemen, we'd be in really big trouble. Sad Jets fan, the Canes looked tired towards the end of OT. Hopefully, the Devils can catch them sleeping tomorrow, especially on the power play. The power play, really, it just has to wake up. There's just no excusing 0 for 10 in a series. And especially there's no excusing 0 for 5 in a game like last night's that you need so badly. And like I said, out of the 0 for 5, 2 of them in an overtime. I mean, I don't know that you'll ever see. Most of the time, you're not going to see teams get 2 penalty calls in an overtime. I was kind of shocked when the second one got called. I thought after the first one, it would have taken something like super blatant for the Devils to get another power play, but they did have 2 in that overtime, and they couldn't get it done. And I thought after the second one that it was really it. I was like, that's it. If we can't score on 2 power plays, Carolina's eventually going to get one. They're going to cash it in, and we're going to be done in an 0-3 hole. But luckily, that never happened. Sherry, my Schutz was at the stadium series. He may be sleeping. He's getting up early to head to Game 4. Oof. I know. I need to mentally and physically prepare. I'm not going to. Oh, it's only 9:30. Very early. I have to mentally and physically prepare for tomorrow. Metalander, we also won Game 3 against Tampa Bay in 2018. I don't know. What is that in reference to? Oh, being down 2-0 in a series. Got it. Yeah, we were so overmatched in that series, though. That was like kind of the start of the Tampa dynasty. Paulie, thank God that Siegs came back yesterday. I can't believe Kova is now hurt too. It's like a MASH unit. Yeah, imagine if Kovacevic didn't come back. Or, I mean, if Siegs didn't come back and we were out, we were down Luke, down Dilly, down Siegs, and then down Kovacevic. It's like, you can't make this stuff up. It's just completely insane. Completely insane. Jay Snow, I thought Dougie was good except for the power play. He's way too indecisive. The puck and the high pressure is killing him. Snow, you hate everybody, dude. You hate everybody. Can you just be happy for a couple days, Snow? We're in the series, man. We are in the series. Devil Heaven, what are the injuries long-term? Dilly and Luke. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. They're not telling us. They're just like, they're not playing. They were ruled out for tomorrow. So make of that what you will. I hope they're both not gone for the playoffs, but I fear that they may be. And that would be unfortunate. But again, we have excess defensemen, so figure it out. Whether that's, Cholowski as the next guy up or Seamus Casey, they got to figure it out. But we have the pieces. It's very interesting. I do think if Kovacic doesn't play tomorrow, I'd imagine they go back to Cholowski, but you maybe see Casey. I'd be a little surprised because it just seems like they're deathly afraid to put him in there. But I think a lot of people would be excited to see Seamus Casey. Custo Hockey, Nemec has looked good enough to earn a spot for next year, especially if you believe Dylan or Hamilton will be gone soon. I don't believe Dylan will be. I do think there's a good chance they trade Dougie just because of how much he makes. If you could free up that kind of cap space and a roster spot for one of these young kids, it could be worth exploring. I am a big Dougie guy, though. I do like Dougie. I think he does get a lot of, I'm not going to maybe call it hatred, but unnecessary kind of, I don't know, negativity surrounding him. I think a lot of it has to do with the money, but I do think when he's gone, whenever that is, people will miss him and what he brought. I do think he doesn't get enough credit from the fan base at large, but you saw what the team looked like last year when he went down. I mean, the team was a disaster when he went down, and then obviously all the other shit hit the fan too. But when he went down, the team looked horrible, and he brings a lot. Just him being able to get the puck out of the zone, generate some offense here and there, and just easing up on the pressure on your goalie and throughout the flow of a game. Guys like Dougie don't grow on trees necessarily, but I understand why everyone's kind of, he makes $9 million, and I get it. And like I said, if the right deal comes along to free up that cap space and a spot for a young kid, it probably makes sense. I just don't know when or how likely that is for now. I could see it maybe next year. I think he's got a few seasons left. What does he have left? It's either 2 or 3. Yeah, he's got 3 seasons left after this year. So we'll see how that all plays out. I highly doubt he makes it. He stays here till the end of the contract, but you never know. Jay Snow, I don't know why on the power play last night, Timo was on the left side and Bratt on the right. I don't know what Keefe is seeing. I don't know either. They move around a lot. I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of tactical analysis as to why they do that. But the power play, no matter where they go, it looked atrocious. Like, oh my God, it looked so bad. That's where you're like, if we had Luke Hughes quarterbacking this thing, we might be able to muster some sort of chances. But it's been abysmal in the series. Jason says, Dilly not getting moved, maybe Dougie. Jason, power play was supposed to be our strength. It got Carolina back in the game. Yeah, but, we're without 2 of our big power play guys and the brothers Hughes. And the power plays looked like shit. Obviously, yes, someone pointed out yesterday that Carolina's penalty kill is very good, but, they're not good to the extent where our power play should look just awful. True, Mag, we need to figure out a way to establish puck in the ozone on the power play with Jack and now Luke. It's very hard to get entry. Yeah, Jack's the best in the game at it. He just glides his ass on in there. Just whoop, right through everybody. Clean zone entry. But they're going to have to figure it out. No practice today, obviously. Quick turnaround. You got the 8 o'clock game last night and a 3:30 start tomorrow. So no practice today. They're probably all just resting up. But I'm curious what the game plan, especially on the power play, is going to be. Because if we see more of the same, it's going to be terrible. Toronto tied it, huh? Wow. I guess Ottawa will get swept. Well, that was one of my upset picks. That's going to turn out to be a terrible one. Man, I would hate to see Toronto go far. Shit. Could be their year to make a little run. Select the boy, what's going on? Meadowlander, Ace, the Sens are on the brink of being swept, but are currently ahead. Who would have thunk it? Yeah, well, now and they're 1 goal away from being swept again. Jason, Dougie's shot from 2 years ago is all but gone. I don't know if that pec injury has really hurt him. I think it's in terms of the slapper it has, but he kind of evolved from the slapper to now he has a crazy wrister and like what I'd call a snapshot. So he still has both of those, and he could pick spots. There's been plenty of times this year where he picked the spot real nice and fired it in using shots other than his, the Dougie bomb that we all grew to love, which I do believe may be done because of that pec injury. That definitely could have an impact on him being able to shoot that bomb off, I think. Shroom Goon says, need to run it back. Flyers versus Devils in the vet outdoor game. I would go to it no matter where it is. It would suck to go into Philly territory, obviously. I'd rather it be a more home game. Yeah, I'm curious how many. I guess there'd be a good amount of Devils fans to travel for that. Wait, what is the vet? That's still there? I know what's the new one is the Link, right? The Lincoln Financial. I thought the vet was their old one. Selected boy power play has got to be better going forward. I mean, yeah. Scoring one goal in the series at some point would by default make it better because we're literally the power play is 0%. Ottawa bad defensively, another OT. It certainly looks like it. Oh, what's up, Brian? Ottawa, yep, tied up at 3. Man, my man Brady's going to get swept. Maybe those rumors will get fired up all over again. It'd be crazy. Custo, NJ definitely wants a Winter Classic. Think after the Florida-New York one, you should keep your eye on Detroit hosting at Ford Field in 2027 versus potentially Montreal in 2028 and Buffalo versus Pitt for a 20-year anniversary of 08. I could care less about those. I want one for the Devils. Anson, final 5 minutes in Ottawa versus Toronto, 3-3 score. Wondering if Brady wants out if they get swept. Them making it might have been enough for him to believe that he could potentially win there one day. But who knows? I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. I would not be surprised if he eventually, says, it's been real. It's been nice. It's been real nice. Time for me to go. Yo, Snand, I'll be in the Rock tomorrow. Very nice. Dire Straits heard here. Olmark hasn't been that good in the series. The statistics, I think, suggest that for sure. And what do you know? Olmark choking in the playoffs again. I mean, he was good for them during the season to get them there, but not getting it done in the playoffs. Devil Evan 77 just called Tony Soprano. He's giving the pregame speech tomorrow afternoon. Derek, does Seamus Casey get a look? I don't think so. I would like to see it, but it is a scary proposition. I think Cholowski is the safer choice, and so I think that's what they'll do. I agree, Snow. We already saw them do it. So, are they going to look at the team and be like, well, we had Cholowski in the one game, and for whatever reason, now we're going to keep him out and throw Casey in. I mean, it's possible, but I just feel like if Casey was going to be seen, we probably would have seen him in before Cholowski the first time around. Gunnar Marks, 2018 didn't belong in the playoffs. We're an 8 seed on Hall's MVP season and Corey carrying. 100%. I've talked about this at length. Like, that Taylor Hall season has to be one of the most impressive single seasons by a New Jersey Devil in team history. Dragged the team on his back and won the Hart Trophy for his efforts. I mean, that team really had no business being in the playoffs. He had about 40 points more than the second highest point scorer on the team, which was Nico in his rookie season. Like Taylor Hall had like 90 or 91, and Nico had like 50 or 51. I mean, totally crazy stuff. A 40-point differential between your number one and number two guy. Shroomgoon says maybe go Casey for the extra offense he could bring. Yeah, I kind of am on that, with that viewpoint as well. But I understand why. And so if they really believe he's that much of a liability in the D zone, maybe the offense isn't the offensive upside's not worth it. We were able to score 3 goals last night. Granted, we only scored 1 goal in each of the first 2 games, but they did manage to get 3 goals last night. And so maybe it might be more of a, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it sort of thing from the coaches, but we'll find out tomorrow. Devil Heaven says throw Seamus in last night, another threat. The art of pimping, I don't think so. Luke will grow into that role, but only time will tell. Sad Jets fan, Nemec, Siegs pair needs to stay together. I don't see why they wouldn't. Sherry, I would love to see Casey, and I know a lot of people would, but it could quickly become a nightmare if he's getting pinned in the D zone and just worked over. Devil Heaven, without Luke, we play more simple, smart hockey. Yeah, but also without Luke, that power play is it's pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. Shroomgoon, I think we need to give Mercer a chance on the power play with puck entry. He's always good shorthanded. Listen, at this point, anything is worth trying, right? Like, what? Why wouldn't you? We have there's nothing to lose. The bar is so low. I hit the mic. We're 0 for 10. 0 for 10. I don't know. At this point, anything's worth trying. Certainly. Mercer got some wheels. Maybe he can get some clean entries and make something happen. Give him a shot. Andrew Ace, my man, let's tie this thing up tomorrow. It doesn't have to be pretty, but just let's grind and win. I don't care if it's Sunday in a 3:30 game. Bring the energy. We need to be louder, and let's go. Completely agree on all fronts. Agree on all fronts. They got to make it happen. However, they got to do it. Bring the energy, be loud, win the game, tie it up, and send the series back to Carolina tied at 2. There's kind of a decent amount of people in here now. I'm like, what? The chat just got very long. It didn't seem that long before. Lopo Prods, Canadian Stanley Cup this year, maybe. Oh, Canada would love that. They would certainly love that. Derek, at this rate, I worry Casey isn't getting enough ice time and feels like a trade piece that we might regret later down the road. Just give him ice time and he could look like Lane Hudson, Quinn Hughes. I mean, he's not going to look like them tomorrow. Could he blossom into something like that? Absolutely. But I don't know that he is a trade piece either. I do think probably in Fitzy's head, he probably wants to keep both him and Nemec. But there's obviously, again, a log jam on the blue line. There is no spots for all of these guys. And so maybe one of the two of them ultimately do end up getting traded. It's definitely possible. It makes sense. We need forward help. We have a lot of defensemen. But when you've seen all these injuries, at the rate we're getting injured, it's like, all right, well, we're going to lose 3 defensemen over the course of a year. We lost more than that this year, but maybe they try to get away with one or both of them playing in Utica to start the season next year. I mean, I don't see what other option we have. Doug, fans often forget that these guys are human beings still, and serious injuries could have lingering effects. Absolutely. I love when people are like, oh, when he gets back to 100%, and it's like, depending on the guy and the injury, it's like, that 100% may never come back. It's very true, Doug. People talk as if it's like a given, like, oh, when they're fully healthy. It's like some injuries you never recover fully from. And you'll see that in the, performance on the ice. And it is super unfortunate with all these injuries we've had. I hope that's not the case. But it is a very fair point, Doug. People just assume that, like, oh, yeah, they'll be back and they'll be 100%. And it's like, that's not always the case. Matt says, if we win tomorrow, we win the series. Ooh, I like that proclamation. I think I would have to agree with that, right? All the momentum snatched by the Devils, winning 2 in a row, going back to Raleigh, and then that game 5 would have to be just complete warfare. Just a complete warfare scenario. Take no prisoners. Man, they got to win tomorrow. That's all. Just win tomorrow, and then this thing is really crazy. It'd be so crazy. I could dream of it. Trevor, who gets hurt next? Hopefully nobody. Hopefully we get through however much longer we're in this playoffs for with no more injuries, because it's just ridiculous. Shroomgoon, I hate is that Aho so bad. Loved when Siegs dumped him with a little ref help. Paulie Walnut, special teams need to improve. Not taking dumb penalties like delay of game penalties would be a good start. Yeah, delay of games are terrible. Obviously, you guys know the too many men on the ice drives me crazy. Sometimes, with the delay of game, though, in the heat of the moment, under fire, under pressure, guys just, desperately tried to flip it out, and it ends up over the glass, and you end up shorthanded. But hopefully they stay out of the box tomorrow and could at least convert on one power play chance. Can we get one power play goal in a game? Just one. Joe, Canes have number 1 PK unit. Has something to do with Devils' poor power play. TNT guys were talking about them anticipating Devils set plays last night. Well, probably a little bit of everything, but I could see that. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, they should just throw different guys out there to give it a different look, and maybe it'll spark something. But it was terrible. Watching those 2 power plays in overtime was absolutely terrible. Meadowlander says maybe what Ottawa needs to get over the hump is Bratt, Mercer, and Nemec. Just saying. At this point, I will say, Meadowlander, I felt slightly differently after the sting of last season in the offseason. I do personally now have Bratter as an untouchable on this team for myself personally. Crazy man. Hey, Ace. What's up, crazy man? Jack, if Kova can't go, you're going Dumoulin, Dougie, Siegs, Pesci, Chalowski, Nemec. Could swap Siegs and Chalowski depending on workload usage. It's going to be interesting. If Kovacevic can't go, we are going to see our 4th different combination of defensemen in 4 games. Totally nuts. Totally nuts. Crazy man, is Allen going to get a start in the series? The only way Allen gets a start in the series is if Markey gets injured or has an absolutely tragic. I don't even think if he had a tragic game, actually, Allen. No, the answer is no. Allen only gets a start in the series if Markey gets hurt. Devil Heaven, we have a bunch of Utica up baby devs experience this. One word, priceless. Yeah, I'm sure they're enjoying it. A bunch of Utica guys were called a few days ago. I'm sure they're enjoying, being around the team, practicing, all that stuff, going to the games, and just kind of getting their first little taste of NHL playoff hockey. And I'm sure they're all just thrilled to be a part of it. I'm sure it's awesome for them to go through this. Andrew, too many people sitting down during moments where they should be on their feet. Crowd needs to be better and ruthless. Got to get in Carolina's head and also pump our boys up to go to the extra mile. Yeah, like I said, I thought the crowd was decent, but not where it needed to be. A lot of other people disagreed with me, and I just think the reality is that a lot of these other people have never been in arenas or at games that were truly totally nutso. The bar for me is very high. I've been at Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I've been at other Cup Finals games. I've been at other series clinching games for the Devils where the atmosphere was just totally nuts. I think the people talking so overly positive about the crowd is essentially just comparing the Devils crowd from last night to the Devils crowd from an ordinary regular season game. And I will agree that the playoff crowd last night was better than the regular season. But if we're talking about what this needs to be, ultimately, you can't be comparing it to the Devils crowd during the regular season, which is god awful on some nights. You need to compare it to the chaotic arena environments in other NHL cities, like whether it's Carolina, where we've started the series, or I did that video the other day where I showed some clips of Toronto. I mean, those arenas are just a different level of bananas. Chowski, I'd be heartbroken losing both Carlson and Brady in recent memory if I'm a Sens fan. I mean, was anyone really heartbroken about Carlson, though? There was so much drama and turmoil surrounding that guy, and obviously he just put up points, but he sucked at defense. I was furious when they gave him the Norris Trophy a few years ago, being on the worst team in the league, and he was some ridiculous minus. I think it was a minus 40, something crazy. Jack, my D pairing for next year: Luke, Pesci, Siegenthaler, Kovacevic, Dumo, and Nemec, Dougie, and Dylan Gunn. Super interesting. I love Dilly. I don't know why you want to get rid of Dilly, but I know a lot of people aren't really Dylan fans. I love Dilly. I don't think they're going to try to get rid of him. I hope they don't. But a lot of people are now, kind of falling in love with Dumoulin. I don't know. And again, with Nemec, and then if those are your pairings, Jack, what is your solution for Mr. Nemec and Casey? Are they both playing in Utica next year? Trevor says, a crazy man, if Allen starts a game, we're in huge trouble. Devil Heaven, we have to continue as the Devil Heaven family. Sherry says, crazy man, no Allen, Markey until further notice. We're definitely, we're going to go as far as Markey could bring us. Trevor, I keep seeing articles about the Devils trading for Quinn. Why is this even a topic? Why would the Devils trade anything for him? So again, I've talked about this at length kind of in the last couple of days. I'm not one of these people that is tripping over myself at the notion of getting Quinn Hughes. Now, would it be cool because he's a great player in this league? Absolutely. But I do think the Devils have more pressing needs than an offensive defenseman like him. Would he help us win games? Absolutely. Do I think the money could be spent better elsewhere? I also think that that is the case. But if the Devils as an organization are set on getting him, I do hope that they wait until his free agency and get him for no assets. But people, now that Rutherford said what he did the other day, there is a chance that he's going to get dealt at some point, and I would not be shocked if the Devils were in talks with them just to get him potentially a year or two earlier, depending on when the trade would happen. But I wouldn't be thrilled about it. I think it's just best to wait and not part with any assets to get him. Now, we had a bunch of extended kind of conversations on this throughout the past week. If somehow you could do a deal where Dougie is a main piece going the other way, because that's essentially a quote unquote problematic contract just in terms of money and occupying a roster spot. If they would take Dougie and a couple other pieces in a deal for Quinn, is that worth exploring? I definitely think so. I don't know that they would even want Dougie because of where they are as a organization, potentially going into a rebuild. Would they even consider taking on Dougie in a deal like that? There's a lot of kind of sub pieces attached to this here, but in the end, I do think it would be best to just wait and not part with any assets. But there is a value to getting him sooner. I just wouldn't want to pay the price that I think other teams would. My buddy Goody going to the game tomorrow. It'll be my first time attending a game in the postseason, so I'm pretty excited. Really hoping to see a big win tomorrow. Very nice, my buddy Goody. Enjoy it. There's nothing like playoff hockey, man. Hopefully you get to see a miraculous win. Ari, Ace, let's get it tomorrow. You got to get that barn rocking. I'm only one man. The barn needs to get themselves rocking. But hopefully the team gives them a lot to get excited about early. I think that's a huge key to getting the fans really into it. And now that it's a 2-1 series, I think everyone's kind of mindset going into the game is going to be much better than last game. Keep in mind, we're all going into game 3 being like, please don't get swept, don't get killed. And now we're going into the barn with a lot of the people going tomorrow. We're already at game 3, and now we're all kind of going back into the arena with that recharged, juiced up feeling from game 3. Now looking to tie this thing up. Mosby, Chulo, I can see Dougie being traded before next season. I definitely think it's a possibility. Gunner, one of the better parts of Casey's game is power play. You could run the point well, but you figure it's the playoffs. You don't typically see 3 power plays, and our D-men got to be gassed, so you'd have to play 5-on-5. Yeah, and he can't get smashed in our own end. And I think that's essentially what the coaching staff is afraid of, and so that's why you haven't seen him. Sherry, everyone going to the game tomorrow, get loud. Devil Heaven, let's play game 3, but let's play like game 3, but tweaks go hard. Shroomgoon, the non-sexy trade deadline moves made with glass and others might be what saves us this series with depth. I mean, will they have come into play because of injuries? Yes, but don't confuse what you just said there with like that meaning it was a great deadline, because by no stretch does what you said right there mean that we had a good deadline. Now, I even said at the time, like, these are fine depth moves, but it could not be the main event of our deadline. The deadline had to be a main event attraction of a much more impact player in conjunction with some of the depth moves like what we saw. So I don't disagree with what you're saying here, but that doesn't change the fact that the deadline was absolutely atrocious. BM, if I'm being honest, I worry about Pesci's health. Sometimes I see him out there and he looks like he's in a lot of pain. Yeah, that's because he is. That's because he is. The guy blocks 1 million shots a game, puts his body on the line. He's an ultimate warrior, and he is in pain a lot because he's playing through everything and he's out there playing for keeps. Don't you worry about Pesci. He's the man. He's just fighting through everything to get the job done. Doug says Jesperbratt goes nowhere. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's on my untouchable list as well. Chowski, I've been saying it. Bratt's number will be in the rafters one day. I think that's a very good possibility. Trevor says that Shroom's going to fits one out and got good players. Maybe we stomp on Carolina and the series isn't close. I don't know that we would ever have stomped on them. It wouldn't be close, but it would certainly would have helped, Trevor. I think that's undeniable. It would have helped, and it's a shame that it did not happen. Sherry, these playoff OTs are killer. Nothing like NHL playoff overtime. Nothing like it. Devil Heaven 77 Ace, what's the crowd for tomorrow? What do you mean by that, Devil Heaven? Yeah, I forgot about the Carlson drama. Kim, just sitting at home watching from my TV. I feel I was louder than some of the fans of The Rock. If the fans would just cheer at any little thing, it would help. Yeah, I think a lot of it has to be prompted by, I think the in-arena team, they have to put more stuff on the scoreboard. All right, let me try to get this game real quick. I forgot. It's so annoying to try to find these games these days. What channel is it on? All right, so yeah, this is just insane. I don't know how they think they're going to grow hockey when you can never find the shit. You need to have 10 million different. Oh, and I'm not signed in on here. I mean, this is just. Hold up, I'm going to put it on my TV. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. 1 second. The TV's taking a while to fire up. All right, that was a whole ordeal. It was a whole ordeal. Oh, it's over. I'm not going to look at the chat in real time because you guys are going to be ahead of me. These streams take forever. I do have it on now, and on my feed, the Sens just took a penalty. Devil Evan Sheamus is still learning, but definitely not a liability. I disagree. I think he, in this series, would be a liability, defensively speaking. Now, whether or not the offensive upside kind of trumps that or not, I don't know. And we may never find out. But I do think that is the main concern of the coaching staff. Jason, Devils did an amazing job of not getting caved in the zone all game. There was a couple shifts where it looked like a power play. It seemed like a little bit less than normal than the first couple games of the series. But it seems like there's at least 3 to 5 shifts per game in this series where it looks like a power play during 5-on-5 play. Stick Figs, you think they will announce the game, the time for Game 5 on Monday? You would think so. They like to have the flexibility for TV purposes, and I'd imagine if it was a 2-2, well, I mean, I guess how many different times could it really be, right? It would have to be probably 7 or 8, I guess. But they'd probably like that flexibility for television purposes, and I'd imagine, oh my God, it's a double minor. It's over, guys. Holy it's over. Oh my God, the Leafs are going around 2. Oh, man, this is gross. What a way for the Senators to get swept. A 4-minute power play? Oh, my God. Let me just – oh, God, this is going to be disgusting. What a scary power play, too. Oh, my God. Oh, it's over for these boys. It's only a matter of time. Look at their power play and look at what – oh, my God. Look at the Maple Leafs power play, and then you see what the Devils power plays look like this entire series. Like, this is like Harlem Globetrotters shit. Just pass around, cycle around, guys moving around, finding open ice, and just shots coming from everywhere. Oh, my God. Look at this. This is what a power play looks like. New Jersey Devils, take note. Big clear for Ottawa. BC, I think we win tomorrow. I think so, too, and I certainly hope so. Sherry says, I'm wearing Bratt right now. He goes nowhere. I think Bratt could be a lifelong Devil. Yeah, thanks for that, Steven. So my buddy Brian texted me. Look at this. This is just a shooting gallery. What a power play unit here. Oh, my God. Leafs are just toying with them right now. It's only a matter of time. They're going to get one here. I just don't see how they don't. 4 minutes in an overtime elimination. Oh! Wow. Wow. Close call there. Ryan, man, we definitely have momentum going into tomorrow's game after the big win last night. Yeah, of course we do. And imagine if we were able to win tomorrow. The momentum that we would – oh, my God. The momentum we'd have going into Game 5 in Raleigh. BC says, keep Casey and them. It's no reason to ship them out. I mean, the only reason would be them being impatient and complaining, I suppose, because in reality, there is no roster spot for them without someone else getting moved. Or really, there's no roster spot for even one of them without someone getting moved. And it would require 2 guys getting moved for there to be a spot for both of them. And I do think, oh, my God. Wow, minute 40 left on the kill. Steven says, I don't know how goalies and OT do it. I would faint under that pressure. It's definitely a lot of pressure. Definitely a lot of pressure. They gotta buckle down. Jacob Markstrom did it last night. Devil Evan 77. Remember the old Fox Sports New York? Oh, it wasn't Channel 28 for me, but of course I remember old Fox Sports New York. And before that, it was Sports Channel. When I first became a Devils fan, they played on Sports Channel. BC says, Fitz absolutely must not trade for Quinn. It would be the height of stupidity when the guy will be an unrestricted free agent in 2 years. But you guys know I am the ultimate win now guy. If you could get him for something fair while also dealing with, again, what we would call a problematic contract like Dougie's just because of the money, if in some world they were willing to take him, and again, I have a lot of reservations about that as well, just because of where they are kind of as a team. Depending on the price, it could be worth it to get him sooner than later. But in the end, it seems the most logical to just wait. Steven says, I don't wish any team to get swept. I want more hockey, not less. BC, I saw a trade proposal. This is ridiculous. Of Hischier plus Casey plus Salayev plus Yegorev for Quinn to rush him here. I couldn't. First of all, that I promise you that is what kind of idiotic fan wrote that? Hischier, Casey, Salayev, and Yegorev for Quinn. I mean, please give me a break. That would be the dumbest trade in the history of the NHL. That is so lopsided, it's not even funny. That's one of the worst trade proposals I've ever seen, actually. Five forwards for Toronto. Marner plays the point. They're trying to end this thing. Look at Travis Green. He's like, come on, guys. Don't do this to me. Did Toronto call the timeout? Delhaven, honestly, the Florida series, the Devs should be watching. The Devils are probably rocking heat packs and ice packs all day, recuperating from that double overtime thriller to get ready for tomorrow. Man, I can't wait, though. Oh, wait, what's the weather? I didn't look at the weather forecast. I didn't look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. It was kind of shitty today. I hope it's not tomorrow. Wow, they're going to kill this thing off. Wow, what a kill for Ottawa. All right, so it looks like it's going to be in the 50s, in the high 50s. Okay, I could live with that. Is that wind? Is that the wind symbol? Looks like windy. Looks like a windy day in Newark. Jay Snow, Nyes is a beast. He's going to get paid this offseason. Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. Big save, Stolars. Dennis, that's the dumbest trade ever. I completely agree. What a terrible trade proposal. Amagi says Salayev plus Mercer plus Aces Lounge access or Quinn. I think Salayev's going to be a monster. I don't want to see him dealt. Steven, why on earth would Fitz trade anything of significance for Quinn? Their GM already said he wants to play in New Jersey. That's kind of my mindset. Like, again, I do believe there is a value to getting him here earlier, but I wouldn't part with anything substantial because we could just wait and get him for free. And again, I don't have them here actually. For the crowd that always talks about how bright the future is, what's the rush then? Why, strip the team of some valuable assets if you could get them for nothing? Devil Heaven, yes, I am going tomorrow. Dennis, the only thing they said about Kovacevic is there's no further whatever they're waiting to hear. So we'll probably find out at some point tomorrow, maybe earlier in the day. But if not, we'll find out game time or shortly before the game. Yeah, it would make sense that he's a game time decision. And if he can't go, I'd expect Chalowski, but it would be certainly interesting to see Seamus Casey get a shot. Snow says Luke's definitely done for the year. You think so? I have that fear too. I have that fear too. Salayev needs to be nicknamed the Russian Bear. I don't know how he'd feel about that. I mean, it's a interesting. Ooh, Stolars again. And then why wants to know what makes you say that? Snow. Devil Heaven Ace, what are you thinking of the other devs podcast, Let's Go Devils? I mean, what do you mean? What am I thinking of? They're nice. I don't know the other guys, but Sam's very nice. I've talked to Sam several times, had him on a round table on the program. I think it was a couple days after the deadline. Had Sam from that show on. Jason, no, I think Luke's shoulder is messed up, in my opinion. Oh, boy. I mean, it's crazy. Are Jack and Luke both just going to have lingering injuries with, oh, man. Injuries are like, kind of lingering, nagging injuries. Oh, my God. The Otto is almost getting out doubled up on the shots right now. Oh, now it's 18-33. It's it's unfortunate. Hopefully they could both fully recover for next season if that is the case for Luke. and they could put these injuries behind them. But it is always going to be in the back of everyone's heads, and probably theirs as well, that if they fall or get hit the wrong way, that it could be kind of aggravated all over again, which is super unfortunate, but that's, part of sports. Dennis, if it's like Mercer, a D prospect and a pick, that's fine, but no reason to overpay. Yeah, like something like that. Exactly, Dennis. Like that's, but I just don't see that being reality, because even if it was only for a known rental period of 2 years, other teams, I think, would pay more for that, because there's a bunch of teams out there that probably believe, like, listen, we'll give up these assets even if we only have Quinn for 2 years. Can we win a cup with him? And I think teams that are kind of in that contending category would certainly try. Paulie Walnuts, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like for our buddy Ace. Thanks. Hit the thumbs up for your boy and for our New Jersey Devils, who are looking to, we're going to have to all raise hell once again and hopefully tie this series up tomorrow after a thrilling Game 3 double overtime victory. Back at it at the Rock tomorrow. Ryan Demand, so both Jack and Luke messed up their shoulders. That's certainly what it seems like. Yeah, the Hughes have bad shoulders. The Hughes brothers all being injured in some way this year is definitely because of the NHL 25 cover. It's the cover curse. I know about the Madden curse. Has that been proven, or whatever you want to call it? If not proven, is that like a thing? Is that a thing for the NHL cover as well? I've been out of I told you guys I've been out of the video game circuit for quite a while. In my older age, I don't get to play video games too much, dude. I'm fading hard right now. That game and last night, that whole thing took a lot out of me. Your boy's getting old, and wow. I used to be kind of a superhero when I was younger. In my younger age, I was able to really do some impressive feats of, lack of sleep, damage to one's body via food and alcohol intake, a combination of all of those things. But as I get older, it definitely becomes harder and harder. Jay Snow, look at Zetterlund. The guy's built like a cigarette machine. We could have had him. I wanted him. I thought it was criminal we didn't pay that price for him. I would have loved to have him. Ryan says, I hope Covey is back tomorrow. I hope he doesn't miss any time. So do I, but, I'm not feeling too good about it, just given where this team kind of is with injuries overall, and the fact that he obviously didn't come back to the game, and then they're saying, he's being evaluated and we don't know yet. I would tend to believe is more negative than positive, but anything could happen. Again, it's the playoffs. There's a lot of gamesmanship involved. They don't like to divulge information. It's just a nonstop chess match between coaches, and so who knows? I hope he could play, but if he doesn't, they're going to have to figure it out. Devil Heaven Ace rules. Let's raise a little hell. We're going to try. We are going to try. Steven says, Connor, CMC. Who's CMC? Is that Christian McCaffrey? You're talking about the Madden cover? Jason, no, I hate that the Devils play early tomorrow. If it came down to it, all things considered, yeah, I don't mind the night games. The 8 o'clock game with the double OT was brutal. It really derailed my entire day today as I've been trying to recover. Dennis says, if Covey is a no-go, do we see Casey? We talked about this a lot. I tend to believe we'd be more likely to see Chalowski, but Casey's a possibility. Ryan says, I think Casey's an option if Covey is out. No, he definitely is. BM, Ace, you trying to get your hands on one of those jackets the wives were wearing last night? Absolutely not. I've actually followed, and I've talked to him a little bit in the past. The designer of the jackets, like I found him years ago from something else. He does great work, but I will say I do think that the wives' jackets are awesome, but they're super feminine. I wouldn't wear something like that. Does that look like something you think I would wear? It's just very feminine. Not for me, but very nice pieces he made. Devil Evan says, you're not kidding, brother. Age-wise, 48 here. Yeah, it just gets... Ace's watch is so cool. Caught a glimpse of it near my section during warm-up yesterday. Totally fell for it. I don't know what you're... I'm confused. I don't know what you're talking about, my friend. My watch? You talking about me? My watch? I don't know. BM, Bratter's wife a 10. Cody Skills, game 4 coming up. Go big or go home. Raise hell. Our odds are 33% going into this game. You're talking about the... Are you talking about for the series odds? Yeah, Christian McCaffrey. Okay. But is there a real curse for the NHL cover? Jay Snow, such a beautiful thing to have your team in the playoffs. Playing an OT game, nothing like playoffs. Yeah, absolutely. Devil Heaven says 3:30, great afternoon game. Love early starts. I'm liking it for tomorrow. Kim says I hate early afternoon games. Love the 6-7 starts. Jay Snow, we seem to play crappy in these afternoon games. Steven says Ace's watch is now ended. That's a Game of Thrones reference. Yeah, so what is Ace's watch? I have no idea anything about Game of Thrones. I've never watched a single minute of it. I'm not really a sci-fi guy at all. I will say I was sucked into Stranger Things because to me that's like sci-fi, but it's a lot of nostalgia, like 80s nostalgia as well. And so I got sucked in, and early on in Stranger Things, it wasn't as sci-fi as it became. And then it kind of became super sci-fi, but that's probably the only thing that I watched that's like really sci-fi. Dennis, I'm 43 here and can't stay up as late as when I was in my 20s. I can, but I can't do it as frequently as I could when I was younger. And I also, the fallout or recovery after is much longer. We're yard up a storm over here. I have coffee in this, Dennis, but I'm struggling. Yesterday was a long day and night, and the day and night extended well into the morning hours of today, and so I'm just a disaster right now. Sherry, old, you're totally not. Try being 60. I hope I get to try that out someday in some time from now. But I'd imagine it would just get progressively worse. It makes sense, right? Like, wow. Is this Khaleesi the best part? Yeah, I don't see you guys are talking a foreign language to me right now. BM Ace, does Matt Tkachuk deserve a suspension for the hit today? Didn't even see it. I didn't see it. Let's see if I could find it. I'm struggling. Holy. We might have double overtime over here. Oh, this is a thunderous hit on Jake Gensel. Whoa. The puck was so far away from him. Holy shit. Matthew Tkachuk's an animal. Oh, what a hit, dude. What a hit. I love the Tkachuk brothers. I have to imagine he will get suspended for that. I mean, wow. The puck was nowhere near him. The puck was so far away from him. That was wild. Cody, my defense lines would be... Oh, you guys with the numbers. My brain doesn't work as fast as it used to. Pesci, Hamilton. Wait, did I already read this? Pesci, Hamilton, Dumoulin, Nemec, Siegenthaler, Chalowski. I forgot what side Casey plays on. Casey's a right-handed shot, but he has played left D. So Casey can kind of go either way. Paulie, Ace, you ain't old. I was still playing hockey in my early 40s. I'd like to start playing again, maybe, just messing around. BM, dude, hockey got saved this last night when Dougie's stick broke and the bench fell asleep and didn't give him the right stick. No, I found the hit, Steve, and that was pretty brutal. Devil having ace any tailgating at Prudential Center? Unfortunately not. One of my biggest gripes about the arena is the fact that there is no tailgating. Tailgating is one of my favorite parts of, or what used to be one of my favorite parts of playoff hockey. That element has been completely removed at the Prudential Center, and one of the many reasons I don't like it overall. But now it's just like, hang out either at one of the two bars right there or in the little fan fest thing and drink some beers. I mean, Senators survive. Senators live to fight another day. I missed it. I got to see the replay here. All right, show the replay. Zetterlund was on the ice. Brady's loving it. Zetterlund was driving the net. Parked out in front. Yeah, Zetterlund in front of the net. I think the hit was a penalty for sure. Yeah, he put his hand up. It was a cruncher, man. Dan, my boy Ace, didn't think you'd be doing a live show right now. I'm at Fort DeSoto Campground, High AF. Where's Fort DeSoto? Where's Fort DeSoto? Bolts made it a series. Bolts were my cup pick. I don't really care too much about my bracket, obviously, but I did pick them in my bracket. Jason said, I don't blame Kachuk. He went after Barkov. See, I have no, I don't know the context of why that all went down, but what a crunching hit, man. It was a 5-minute penalty and a game misconduct, I think. Yeah, Ottawa wins. It's over. Sends. I can't see the Leafs collapsing, but what a grand story that would be. Imagine if the Leafs lost 4 in a row. Jason, no, playoff hockey is the best, especially when you have all these games. Yeah, there's nothing like playoff hockey. Devil Heaven, Ace, get those red glasses on, fucker. They're actually not. I have all my shit packed from the game, and it's in my car. I forgot. I don't have them handy. They're in my car. Ryan, Ace, you going to the game tomorrow? Yes, I am. Jay Snow, it's the best just watching hockey all day. I like it. Sherry, what time did your podcast end last night? I watched till 1:30 and had my alarm set for 9, and I'm 60. It's impressive, Sherry. I don't know. I think it ended at like some ridiculous. It may have been I think it was in the 3 o'clock somewhere, Sherry. I don't know. It was in hindsight, it was probably a terrible idea because it kind of set me off on a completely derailed path for today and stuff. So it wasn't the wisest. I should probably tailgate at the Rock regardless. There's really nowhere to do it. Like, you could try to sneak it in one of the parking lots, but like, it just wouldn't even be fun. Dennis, I hope Nemec gets that confidence going and plays like he's capable of. Was so pumped seeing him get the game-winning goal. Yeah, what a great story for that kid, right? In the minors for most of the season, in and out of the lineup at the end of the season, people kind of questioning what his role was going to be on the team going forward. All sorts of things being said about Nemec, and he showed up in the biggest stage. Steve and I always root against Colorado ever since Miles Wood threw some shade at the Devils talking about being on a winning team. I hope that bum never wins a thing. Wild. It's in Tampa. Okay. Dan, you ever go to Ybor City? Is Ybor City still a thing? I went there a few times when I was like in college years and years ago. Had some grand old times in Ybor City. No sweeps in the first round. The Barkov hit was worse. Interesting. Jason, I hate Colorado ever since we lost that cup. Absolutely. Ever since 2001 and the whole Ray Bork Mission 16W nonsense. I have firmly hated Colorado as well. I was so mad that Devils lost to Colorado. Yeah, you and me both, Snow. Dire Wolf, the win last night was so impressive and shorthanded as we are. I think fully healthy, we would roll the Canes. I don't think roll, but I think would we be a much better matchup? Absolutely. A lot of people hating Colorado since 2001, dire straits. Jay Snow, if the Devils tie it, it puts all the pressure on the Canes. Completely agree. What would have been a 2-0 lead, then tied up at 2, going home, feeling all that pressure. Probably a very skittish crowd being like, what's going on here? It'd be amazing. I would love to just take the series from them. Dire Straits is screwed. All the former Devils on that team goes Dallas. Dan, it was so hot today. I might go to Clearwater. Nice rink to play some pickup hockey. Ybor is fun. Lots of thoughts. Well, it's good to know some things never change, Dan. There was lots of them back there 20 years ago as well. My Japanese maples are ripping. They call me the Polish Mr. Miyagi. Yo, you're outside doing bonsai trees over there, Devil Heaven. LJ Brady was going crazy, crushing Leafs in OT. Dan, always keep my hockey bag in my car, always ready to play. I like that. It's probably a nice you just go to rinks looking for games on a whim. Anyone have anything else? I got to wind it down here. I need to freaking I need a hyperbaric chamber. I need all sorts of things for recovery. Richard, hey, sorry I missed you last night this morning. Got home around 2:30 this morning. My kid will be in the suite again tomorrow. Leica and the Devils struck a deal. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Dennis, what's your favorite memorabilia piece you own? I can't really pick one. It would probably be a Marty game used something of some kind. I mean, I have some iconic Marty stuff. I eventually plan to do some videos on this stuff, like a kind of little, I don't know what you want to call it, but like a video on what the item is, I guess, and kind of talking about what it's from. And I guess the event, whether it's a game or a series, whatever it is, kind of got away from that for a while, but I do think it could be interesting. Supposedly. I don't know. We'll see. But I was going to do some videos on some of the more iconic stuff that I have, but these pads would be on the list. The iconic game-worn Marty Heat and Helite 4s. Definitely the quintessential Marty Brodeur pattern, in my opinion. The Helite 4s are just straight fire. Obviously, this is a game-worn glove, game-worn blocker, game-used blocker. But those Heat and Helite 4 leg pads are just beautiful. BM says, getting the ice bath after the stream, Ace. I need something. I wish my gym was open late night because there's a sauna in it, and I would certainly go in the sauna right now, but it closes super early on the weekends, which sucks. Devil Heaven, I remember like yesterday, Joe Sakic, Ray took the cup from us game 7. I hate them forever. Devil's Holic, are you going tomorrow? Yes, I am. Richard Ace, where'd you get that shirt you're wearing? This is a new collection from Violent Gentlemen. The Raise Hell, the hat and the shirt. New for the playoffs, a New Jersey Devils and Violent Gentlemen collaboration that was in the team store yesterday. So while I don't need any more merch, you guys know the deal. It's a disease, guys. It's a disease. So I had to pick them up. Dennis, would be sick if you did a video of some of the things you own. Definitely, probably in the summer, I'll start doing more of these. I have some good ideas for some of them. I think one of them is going to be pretty cool. I might try to do that sooner than later, but it requires a lot of stuff to do it properly. BM Ace, do you miss the horizontal stripes in the lower half of the jerseys? I do. Of course. Those are iconic. I would love to see them brought back. We talked about this. A bunch of people were talking about this in the live at some point in the past week or so, late night. We're talking about all kinds of jerseys. Amagi, how much is the shirt? Wanted to check it out, but didn't have the chance. I don't know, man. It couldn't have been that much. I wouldn't have bought it. It was, hold on, let me see. The tag's over there. Hold on, Amagi. I'll check for you. I just ripped the tag off it. Amagi, the shirt was 40. Ace needs some melatonin. Tomorrow's going to be another long day. It's going to be such a long day. Devil Evan Ace, how does licensing and copyrights work for shirts? I don't know exactly, but it is a super strict thing, I know, because like there's all these stupid rules. Like when these companies do collabs with them, like by some rule of the NHL, they can't be sold online and they can only be sold in the team store. So I don't really know. There's a bunch of nonsense that goes behind it. I have no idea. All the rules and stuff, but I do know it's very strict and regulated, and it's kind of nonsensical. Yeah, you were right, Amagi. Right on the money is right. You were correct. Anyone have anything riveting before I close it down over here? Amagi, I would have picked one up. Shit, was hoping that Den. So, was hoping that Den would be open after double OT. So I'm an early guy. I like to. I'm very with the time. I'm very, very early all the time in the world. What was I going to say? I can't remember. Oh, in the words of Tom Coughlin, former New York Football Giants head coach, if you are not early, you're late. And I have a very strict kind of schedule of things I need to do at the games. And so I always get there very early. I don't like carrying shit around, although I did end up actually carrying shit around last night by accident. But I went into the store, shortly after I got to Championship Plaza. I walked around FanFest. It was super early when it opened. There wasn't a lot going on. I walked through. I went to the shop. I actually bought this shirt and then walked back to for some reason, I didn't even see the hat. I don't know if I missed it, if I was overly excited and not paying attention. And then I took the shirt and went back to my car and dropped it off because I didn't want to carry it. And then later in a different store in the arena, I saw the hats. They actually had a cool puck as well that I bought. But yeah, I don't like to carry shit around. So I like to, if I have to buy something, I like to do it, put it in my car and be done with it. Peppy, are you selling shirts? No, I'm not. This is a design that I bought at the game. Rutgers 6292. Do you find it easy or stressful to drive to the Rock? How far away from it are you? I don't think it's necessarily stressful. It's fairly easy. It's annoying. The way I go there, typically the GPS takes me through a kind of like, there's a lot of like, side streets and zigging and zagging through Newark, and it's painful. I don't know if I'd call it stressful, but it's fairly easy enough. I am about, without traffic, which I usually try to leave pretty early. Tomorrow is going to be beautiful for the drive for me because it's a weekend. Weekends versus weekdays are completely different. But I will have a very easy drive on the Sunday. But I'm probably about 25 minutes away from the Rock, give or take. I was pursuing the beer stick over. Richard, get some sleep, you crazy bastard. Great job as always. Thanks. Thanks, Richard. G. Piercy, let's go, boys. Woo! We're 1 win away, guys, from this being a best of 3. Devil Heaven 77, I got to get back to the Devil's Den. I named my office in my house the Devil's Den. Nice. Years back. Devil's Holic, for years I've been saying Prudential Center needs to sell Prudential Center pucks because other arenas do it, and as a fan you travel to, you'd want to get it to remember it. They finally released it. That's cool. Devil Heaven, any good beers of the Rock? I'm not really a beer guy, if I'm being honest. I'm a hard liquor guy, but you know, with the fan fest outside and whatever, I will like I would self-classify as a situational beer drinker. And so obviously the playoff games, it's nice and hot outside. We're out, out on the plaza, walking around. That's where I'll drink beers. And so I'm very simple. I'm a Bud Light kind of guy. I'm not into these IPAs and all these fancy import, I'm just a Bud Light. I could drink whatever beers. I don't like the thick, like Yingling type things. I'm not with that. But I was drinking Bud Lights yesterday. My buddy was drinking Stella. Dan, I'm debating if I want to go to Ybor City tonight or not. Oh, I would definitely be going to Ybor if I were you, Dan. I'm assuming you're a young man. So I would certainly be in Ybor. Is that place Amphitheater still there by any chance? There was this place Amphitheater in Ybor City that would have crazy amounts of fog machines, and then the dance floor in the middle rotated. What a trip when you were smashed out of your mind. You hear and like all the sound and all the smoke machines, the fog would be coming up, and then the dance floor would be rotating. It was wild. I remember there one night, I was like, my whole world was upside down. It was like, and everything was going crazy. It was pretty wild. But Amphitheater, if it's not there, I'm sure it's maybe renamed as something else. But it was a great time. Amagi Stella is my go-to at the Rock just because the can is huge, so it's really the best value. Some others like $1 less or more and half the size. We had the tall boys yesterday. They had several of the big boys outside on the plaza. The Bud Lights, my buddy Brian had the Stella. I think they had a couple others that were big, and then there were some that were smaller cans. I always go for the big boys. Devil Evan says, love a good porter stout. Sounds like something I would not like. BM said, Ace, you should do the stream from bed. Absolutely not. What's going on, Billy? Metalander chugging with Whitey is a situation. I love Whitey. Whitey loves the beers too. Jaden, hi Ace. Hello, Jaden. BM Ace, do you have NJD themed duvet cover and pillowcases? No. So I know, contrary to what many people believe, like I'm not a dork. Like I don't have hockey shit everywhere. Like I have a very normal home. That doesn't have any traces of hockey, anything outside of, in my studio. I don't use hockey stuff as home decor. I think a lot of people do that. And no offense if you're one of them, I do think it's kind of tacky, like in your main home to have like hockey decor. I would never do that. I'm into lots of other types of aesthetic things in that realm. But in terms of, my Devil's Den, my Devil's studio, Devil stuff everywhere, obviously. But that's where it ends. It's all contained. Yeah, Dinosaur Barbecue is gone Devil Heaven. It's become something else like Mad Chicken or something. Amagi, the Devil's Stick Toss beer is nice, but the can is way too small. Yeah, I'm looking for the value too. Like I don't want some small fancy beer. Bud Light is just fine for me. I'm not a fancy beer guy. Dan, it's only my second night here. LOL. Okay, I'll go. I'll be 41 in July. Oh, so you're up there like me, Dan. Wait, are you on a vacation or do you live there? I'm confused. Do you live in Tampa? Steven, those people who have Devils themed weddings in those MSG commercials, I cringe every time. Do they have Devils themed weddings? Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know that I'd call it a Devils themed wedding, but it's like a Devils influenced wedding. Yeah, like that's a bit much, Steven, but I don't want to talk too much about it because there might be some people like that in here right now. Yeah, I draw the line somewhere. I certainly wouldn't be doing something like that. Sherry, my favorite memorabilia is Drew's first goal. My dad made a trophy, white block, red metal net plaque, Drew's first goal, puck in net. Very cool. I live in Orlando. I'm just at the campground until Monday. Got it. Got it. I think I like the idea of camping, but I just don't know if I actually would like it. I think it's a cool idea, but I also like I like amenities. Those commercials and the guy doing the rats. What's the tats? That guy does some sick devil's tattoos. I don't have any. People ask that a lot, but that guy's definitely done some sick tattoos, including devil's ones. My computer's acting so strange. Ryan missed last night's game, was so drunk, passed out after 1 OT. Oh my God. That is brutal. That is brutal, Ryan. Control yourself. BM says that, Steven. I always tell my wife that could have been us. Devil's Hall, give camping a try. You never know. We should do a camping outing. I don't know about a camping outing. Dan, I grew up playing ice hockey on Lake Apacon when it was frozen. I had a great childhood. That's awesome. Dennis, I do have a Devil's logo tattooed on me, debating getting a Marty one. What would you get, Dennis? If you were going to get a Marty one, what would you get? And if you live in New Jersey, you should definitely go to that guy. I forget the name of his spot offhand, but the dude in the commercials. I haven't really been paying attention a lot lately. Do they still run that commercial? That guy must have gotten a crazy amount of like business from that because it was just constantly playing. BM Ace, if the Devils win the cup this year, you should get Nico's nameplate and number tattooed on your back. I would never do that. Definitely not. But you could do it, BM. Go for it. Oh, you'd get, if you're going to get Marty, you'd get the 03 cup shot of him raising the cup in 03. I like that. I like that. Dan, the conversations are all over the place. This, I would say, is somewhat tame compared to some of them. But, yeah, they're definitely all over the place. Devil Heaven 77, Dirty Devil vodka for tomorrow's Speedies on the grill. Always love the Dirty Devil. What is Speedies? Yeah, gotta have him holding the cup. Nice. BM Ace is not Brandon. Oh boy, if you're referring to who I think you're referring to, Wild. I'm certainly not. Certainly not. Billy D. Marty's on a lot of commercials in Canada. He's hilarious. The last one I feel like I saw was an Enterprise commercial, an Enterprise car commercial. What other commercials has he been in as of late? Richard, I still did not, and I have it right here. It's literally in a tab. I've just been so busy for the past, since we first talked about this. I promise I will eventually, maybe I'll watch it right when I get off here. But I want to pull it up on the TV. I don't want to watch it on my computer. When I was in the VIP bathroom, I saw a dude pee and not wash his hands in a rush. Must be a huge Running with the Devils fan or something to adopt Ace's own strengths at the Rock. Bro, I always wash my hands. I have plenty of time to do what I got to do. I have plenty of time to wash my hands and do everything else I have to in between periods. Sherry, I would have never let my son play on a lake. Holy cow, that's terrifying to me. Oh, Sherry, are you one of those worry mother, the overly worried mothers? That's how my mother is too. Still to this day, will still call me and say nonsense. Shout out to Mom Dukes. Love you, Mom, but you're nuts. Nuts. all kinds of wild stuff. Steven, are you going to be active on this channel in the offseason for the draft and free agency? Yeah, for sure. Obviously, it's not going to be to the extent, obviously, of the regular season or playoffs. There's just not that much to talk about, but I certainly will be talking about anything that's remotely newsworthy, I will be talking about. And obviously, draft and free agency is two of the bigger ones of the summer. And then later on in the summer, we have development camp and maybe the prospects challenge, and then leading up into, training camp. I don't even know how to necessarily answer that question, Amagi. Maybe whoever brought it up could give you a better explanation, because I don't even really know where to begin. Jaden said Nemec is now like, never scratch me again. He's like, yeah, here's a double OT goal. Get out of here. Dan, any Devils fans want to go camping, hit me up. That'd be dope. I have a projector. I put on a sheet for Devils games, like 240-inch screen outside. Nice. Dan, are you like one of these outdoors guys? Are you like Liver King? Are you out there? Are you out there like tackling wildebeests and cooking them on the grill? Cody, who's your pick for lighting the lamp? My pick, if Casey plays, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go with my man Timomeier. He's overdue. Rutgers Ace, what's the most random Devils memorabilia item you own? I used to have a Corey Schwab stick. I would say, let me see. This is probably pretty random. I've shown this before. I got to move this little table here. I've shown this before. But this is Peter Sidorkiewicz, his game-used Albany River Rats mask that was worn in one period of a New Jersey Devils game. I would say this is pretty random. Super sick paint job. I always loved the River Rats as well. The quintessential farm team for me for the Devils. You got the little rat there. But this was worn by Sidorkiewicz on the River Rats in Albany. And he wore it in one period of a Devils game. I would say this is probably up there in terms of random. I'd think. I'd have to think. I might have some more random stuff than this. But that was one that just came to mind that's obviously within reaching distance here to show. Dan says, if you have a problem with cannabis smell, don't come. There's a big cannabis smell outside of the arena quite often as well now in the modern times. Devils Holic, Brandon is the guy who starts fights for no reason with everyone in this fan base. Yeah, he's tried to fight me a couple times, and I'm not claiming to be some, over-the-top tough guy, but I certainly would pummel him into an oblivion. And I've had a couple run-ins with him. And I know millions of other people that have as well. Chowski, do you know where to find the picture of the mural at the Rock with Stevens holding the cup? Can't find it. Which mural are you referring to? I feel like there's several like painting and mural type things around the arena. Spidey's is chicken, pork, beef. Okay. Rachel says, come on, man. Do it for Arturo. Carve out 45 minutes and get your ass to bed. Devils Hawks says Sherry is a helicopter parent. There's tons of them out there, though. BM Ace, how many Canes fans are at Game 3? Not many at all. Not many at all. Timo definitely needs one. Billy D says, Marty did a few Enterprise commercials. Latest is Hyundai, where he's late to a beer league game. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, he doesn't really do anything. He's obviously much bigger in Canada than in America. It's Timo time, Devils fans. Steven said that is such a cool design. Dennis says that's sick. Thank you. Chowski, Devils Holic, thanks. I meant, like, is there a website with a classic picture or something? I should have been more specific. Devil Heaven, I grew up with the River Rats in the 80s. Rutgers, legendary River Rats item you got there. Oh, so that's a photo, dude. Hold on one second. Let me check something. It's, I guess, yeah, when people say mural, I always think of painting. But that's an actual photo. It's an actual photo. Hold on. Chowski, I just put a link in the chat. I think, is this what you're talking about? This is what is at the end of my vlog. What I just put in the chat, if you click that link, let me double check it in a different window. Yeah. So that link is the exact photo. That link is the photo of what I think what you're talking about, right? I think he's talking about the exit to the J and L lot. Amagi, some of the really fun arena decors in the VIP area, which stinks for people who don't check out that area at all. Yeah, even the suite level has a lot of cool art and shit too. Most of the cool stuff is honestly in areas that most people don't get to see, if I'm being honest. Devil's Hawk says, don't worry, Sherry. I'm a mama's boy. I get calls from my own mother asking for my whereabouts. Dude, I'm almost 40 and I get them regularly still. Still to this day. It's never going to stop. Metallanders talking about the Stevens with the cup entering the player's entrance. I might have it in my stuff from the arena. I will look. True mural is painting. That's what I thought. I was thinking of painting, but yeah, I guess if you're talking, okay. Yeah, we're still live in here, Max. What time are you leaving to get to the game tomorrow? Dennis says, I think Nason and Arcata are due for a goal. That would be nice. Is that what you're talking about, Chowski, though? Because that's what at the end of my vlog is that picture is above the escalator. Yeah, that's the one. Max, Ace, you know how much parking behind Reds is for the playoffs? I have no idea, but I have a good lot that's $30, Max, if you're interested. The lot I park in is $30 for the playoffs. Yeah, Mike Miller, Richard. Mike Miller was the radio guy when the Devils won the Cup in '95. He's Rothstein. Oh, man. Ace Rothstein, legendary character. All right, guys, that's it. I'm done. I need to recover for tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll find a way like I always do. I will persevere and find a way to go through the grueling day and night that is New Jersey Devils playoff hockey, and then return to be with all of you fine folks, which hopefully is for another celebration after another massive New Jersey Devils playoff win at the Rock in Game 4, hopefully tying this thing up, sending it back to Raleigh for the pivotal Game 5, all knotted up at 2. Who wouldn't love to see that, guys? I know I certainly would. And I'm hoping we're here to celebrate that tomorrow. Hope we're going to be celebrating a game series tying win tomorrow. I will be back. And that's it, guys. I'm just, like I said, mentally, physically, emotionally drained. The ride is just beginning. It's just starting to get interesting. And if they could tie this thing, whoo-wee, a best-of-3 series, don't mind if we do. What else do I have on the way out of here? What do we got? If you haven't seen it, if you're interested, I will drop the link in the chat to the where the hell is it? The vlog from yesterday's game. I got a lot of stuff, a lot of footage in there from the Fan Fest outside. A lot of warm-ups and stuff around the arena. The usual vlog-ish type thing. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. I dropped the link in the description. And I'll be back. Tomorrow is another day for these boys to go to war. Hopefully they tie this thing up. And wow. It's going to be another night. It's going to be hard to get to bed because I'm all fired up. I'm just envisioning being back on Championship Plaza, drinking those beers before the game, and hopefully watching another massive New Jersey Devils dub. But thanks for all coming out. Thank you for the continued support. I've had a lot of fun this season, despite the Devils breaking our hearts quite often. But we are in the postseason now. That's what it's all about. And we are one game away from tying up a series, guys. After being down 2-0, I will sign up for it all day, any day. And hopefully they find a way. Will Kovacevic play? Will he not? We'll find that all out. Luke and Dylan are out. And Marky, we trust as always. And hopefully they find a way. Hopefully Timo breaks out. And I just hope we see a big win. Would love to see it. Love to see the win. And I'll be back soon. Back tomorrow night with the post game live. And that's it. That's all I have for you guys now. I'm going to recover. But thank you all. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. Is there anything else? I think that's it. Check out the vlog. Check out whatever else. I don't know. I think that's all I got. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go.